All right, Dana White's Contender Series Week 4 takes place tonight, and we're going to go through all 5 fights, starting with the first fight, Tommy McMillen versus David Mgoyan. I'll let you start with this one.
Well, obviously both fighters are undefeated in this one. And it is a close fight, but I'm going to go with Tommy McMillen. He trains with O'Malley, he's his sparring partner, and O'Malley speaks quite highly of him. And obviously O'Malley is a former champ, so I'm going to trust his word here. McMillen also has won all of his fights by finish, whereas David McGowan has won all his fights but one by finish, so probably will be a finish in this one, or maybe a decision, we'll see. But yeah, I'm just more confident in Tommy McMillen just because of the people he trains with, what I've heard about him. I think he's just, and like I say, he's finished every single opponent he's faced, so I think he's going to go out there and beat David McGowan, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I really don't see that happening, to be honest. I think David McGowan's going to win this fairly easily. I think he's going to win either by finish or 3-0, is how I see this one. He does...
Really?
I mean, he trains at a better gym than Tommy McMillan. He trains at American Top Team, which has, if I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure Pantoja trains there. Like a lot of, it probably is the most well-known gym in MMA.
No, yeah.
And the way, because Tommy McMillan's more of a wrestling base, am I wrong? Or am I right in saying that?
It's a bit of both. He's quite all-rounded, Tommy McMillan.
But I've seen a lot of his stuff. He's with wrestling, and I don't think he's have any success in the wrestling department because American wrestlers, as much as people cope about it, they are just ass. Like, they're horrible. And I'm going to back the Caucus wrestler every single day of the week. Fairly well rounded as well, undefeated. There is a world where I could see Tom McMillan getting it done, but David Mgoyan, I think, he's going to win this fight by
I believe
decision.
he's a dog as well, right?
No, yeah. McMillan's the dog in this fight.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Plus 160.
That does surprise me.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a good fight, though. 2 undefeated guys. Whoever wins this is probably a decent prospect. Though, as I say, I don't think McGoyan's going to get a finish, so I don't know if Dana's actually going to sign him or not. So,
but if he wins 3-0, it's going to be hard not to sign him, right? So just
yeah. We know how Dana is, though, with the Contender Series.
Yeah, true. Let's get on to the next one.
Next fight, Eduardo Henrique versus Tuan Ho. Now, I believe, this Vietnamese man does also train out of O'Malley's gym. And he has been chinned by Leonard Kavanagh, which isn't a good look because we're starting to find out that Leonard Kavanagh isn't all that. And he's just a can, in my opinion. I don't think he's going to win this fight. I think Eduardo Henrique, he's got this one in the bag. I'm not too confident in saying that though, because he hasn't really been proven against anyone yet. So he could all. I mean, realistically, they're probably both not UFC level, but I'm going to edge towards Eduardo Henrique by finish, by submission of some sort. How about you?
Now this is the fight that I've been the most back and forth on out of all the fights, to be honest.
I can see why.
Because I think Tuan Ho is actually alright. Like, he was looking good before he got knocked the hell out by Kavanagh, but he was out cold after one punch, which
it's just not
isn't a great look. But it was a flush punch. I can see how he got knocked out cold, and I believe he was 20-0 in kickboxing as well, Tuan Ho. So he is his only loss ever in fighting was to Leonard Kavanagh, but this is his last chance, right? Obviously, if he loses again here on the Contender Series, I mean, he's only won once since, and it was to a somewhat of a negative record, I believe. So, not really good. I don't really know how he's deserved the chance back. Maybe they gave him the chance back because Leonard Kavanagh looked good up until he didn't. But
yeah,
I'm really back and forth on this.
Wait.
I think it'll go either way, but I'm gonna edge Eduardo Henrique.
Wait, why am I acting
like experience on this?
Why am I acting? I knew this guy.
Who?
Eduardo Henrique. I knew him.
Where from?
Wait, I don't
Wasn't
know
he
him.
on the?
I thought he was on the Ultimate Fighter.
I don't think so.
His nickname's actually
Maybe he
Chapolin.
was.
I don't know. Maybe I'm
I don't
tripping.
know.
He wasn't because I've just checked, but maybe he must. He looks like him as
Oh,
well. He looks like the guy on the Ultimate Fighter.
yeah, I know who you mean, but
I was going to say they won't just give him that guy looked ass in the Ultimate Fighter, so I don't know why they're giving him a shot. So maybe they know each other. Maybe they're
yeah,
related of some
true.
sort. They're probably related.
Yeah, they probably are. They do look quite alike. To be fair.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I am off with.
But yeah,
Wait, who are you off with?
I'm backing you on the Eduardo Henrique side.
Yeah. No, I do think. I think they're both kind of cans. I don't think they're both going to be great in the UFC if they get there. So I'm just edging towards Henrique in this fight. It's a bit of a close one though. Go on to the next one. Mandel Nallo versus Samuel Silva. I'll let you start with this one.
This is one of my most confident picks on the card, to be honest. Samuel Silva. He's going to win this fight. But at the end of the day, odds are close on this one. I disagree personally. I think Samuel Silva's a pretty good fighter. I mean, he's not obviously the best. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be a champ or anything like that. But just the eye test on this one's crazy, to be honest. And Samuel Silva's coming off a really good win over Hardwick in his Cage Warriors debut and won the belt there. So yeah, I'm quite impressed by Samuel Silva. I think he's turned a bit of a corner in his career, and I think Mandel Nallo just looks soy. So give me Samuel Silva in this one.
Yeah, no. Mandel Nallo definitely has at least a sprinkle of Indian blood in him. If he did a DNA test, he would come out as probably primarily Indian. So it's hard to go with him knowing that because they're just not made to fight. It's just the harsh reality. Samuel Silva, he looks decent. He looks fairly decent. He's on like a 5-6 fight win streak, I think, right now. So yeah, he just looks like more of a fighter. He's more well-rounded. They are both kind of stat padded a little bit, I will say, in their career, but who's not really at this point?
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go Samuel Silva. I am also very surprised the odds are this close. So yeah, go on to the next fight.
Yeah.
Theo Haig versus Cezary Oleksiejczuk. I'll let you start with this one.
I've actually done a lot of research for this one, and I think it's a much closer fight than the odds say, in my opinion, at least.
I agree.
I think Theo Haig definitely has a good chance in this fight. We just don't know how good he is. I mean, he's 6-0 with all his wins coming by sub within the first 2 rounds. So, like, what more can he really do? You know, I think he's been pretty insane in his first 6. And I guess the reason he's an underdog against Oleksiejczuk is because he's 15-3. And I believe, Oleksiejczuk's only loss in the last 6 years does come to an undefeated Turkish guy called Raslov, who's 14-0. So Oleksiejczuk is pretty good. He's obviously fighting better comp than Theo Haig. And Oleksiejczuk is coming off the best win of his career against Tom Breeze as well, where he knocked him out in the first, which is a very good win. Because Tom Breeze was in the UFC and went to like splits with Strickland and that. And yeah, his only losses really coming to Strickland, Brendan Allen, and some Khan, but still, he went 5-3 in the UFC, so it wasn't bad. And it is a closer fight than the odds say, as I say, but I'm going to be picking the favourite still anyway, Oleksiejczuk, because I do think his experience, he's fighting better comp, he knows what he's doing more in there. But Theo Haig, if he gets another sub, especially within the first 2 rounds, or just in general, if he gets another sub, then you got to ask yourself, how good is this guy? But I'm going to pick Oleksiejczuk, but if Theo Haig goes out there and gets another sub, he's could be a real problem.
No, yeah. I'm also off with Oleksiejczuk, but I do think the odds should be a lot closer. I'd say it's like 60-40 towards Oleksiejczuk in my opinion. But yeah, Theo Haig, good grappler, but I'm going to trust that Oleksiejczuk has experience to at least survive if he goes down. I don't think he will go down, to be honest. I think he's going to keep it on the feet and probably knock out Theo Haig in the first round.
Yeah, I agree.
But there is a world where Theo Haig can get this done. I just don't think it's this world. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the main event. Jack Congdon versus Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani. Now, one of these guys is a -400 favourite. I think this is a 50-50 fight. I genuinely think they're both cans. I don't think they're both good. But, hey, I'm going to go with... I'm gonna take Jack Congdon to win this fight because there's not much to go off. They're both very similarly stat padded, both very similar skill level. And Jack Congdon's the only deciding factor I can go off in this fight because I think it's a very 50-50 fight. He's only lost once in his career compared to Jean Paul's 2 losses. So it's a 50-50 fight. I'm going to take the plus 300. I'm edging towards him probably like a 52% to 48. Yeah, I just think he's marginally better fight. I don't know why this is the main event because this isn't a great fight. There's better fighters on this card, but yeah, what about you?
I'm also picking the biggest underdog on the card in Jake Congdon. Look, his one loss comes to Jonathan Piersma, which isn't a great loss, I mean, obviously, but it's not the worst loss either. He isn't great, Jonathan Piersma, but he isn't shocking, right? He's someone that can beat you, like. And Jean Paul, I mean, he also has questionable losses on his record, like you say. I mean, he has more than, obviously, he has 2. I'm not confident in either fighter. And as you say, minus 400 on one of them is some of the craziest odds I think I've ever seen, to be honest. I think the reasoning for him being a heavy favourite is because Jean Paul has been fighting in Bellator his whole career, whereas Jake Congdon has been fighting in a different organisation. I can't remember what organisation it was, but it wasn't a very known one. So, obviously, it is a worse organisation, but honestly, I'm going to pick the underdog here, like I say. I mean, I think it can go either way, and one of them's plus like 300 or whatever, and one of them's minus 400, so I think it's crazy, and I do think Jake Congdon can get the win here. I think it's a 50-50 fight, and I'm going to pick Jake Congdon to get it done.
Yeah, even though he's fought in Bellator, Jean Paul, he's been fighting cans in Bellator, so I don't really think it makes much of a difference, to be honest.
I agree, yeah.
It don't really matter unless you find the top guys, so... Yeah, we'll be taking Jack Congdon to win this. We've picked all the same fighters apart from the first fight, which was split on, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think either of these fighters are good enough for the UFC. I have to say that, but I guess we'll see.
We'll see if you can keep
in the main event
your 10 pick streak right now.
Yeah, 10 Contender Series picks in a row. We'll see if I can carry that on, but this card is quite hard to predict, I'll admit, so we'll see.
I went 4-1 the last 2 cards, so maybe I'll do that again.
Not bad either. Not bad,
is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, that's about it.